Hello adventurers, I'm Gray and welcome back to another Minecraft video, and has it been a long time since I've last said those words. I honestly don't even remember the last time that I've done a video for YouTube. It's been so long, and I've missed it. I've missed doing this, I've missed talking to you all, talking about life, playing games, and there is so much to talk about, so much to update on, that there's no way I could discuss it all in one unscripted, just off-the-cuff video. But I thought it would be a good chance right now for me to just get back into Minecraft, get back into some parkour, and just kind of chill, talk a little bit about my life and about what's going on, why I haven't been uploading in so long. I've already kind of talked about why in previous updates, but just to go into a little more detail about it. As you can see here though, the biggest update you can tell right away is I have a new computer. And not only that, but it is a beast of a rig. Like, it is fantastic, and honestly, several of my issues that have been keeping me from making videos have now been solved. And this is just the spawn area parkour. This is, I think, a map called Parkour Tunnel. So I thought I'd just play a simple, modern 1.19.4 version parkour map and just get back into it a little bit. I haven't done this in so long, so I'm a little bit rusty on Minecraft in general, not just parkour, but I hope to get back into it now that I have more free time. So let's go ahead and get down there to the map. As per usual, the link to the map will be in the description, so all credit to the creator. But let's go ahead and get started, and while we're going through this world, I'm just going to talk about my life. So, as I said, I've got a new rig, and there's a big reason why I have a new computer right now. It was actually a graduation gift for me, and for those who don't know, I have been in pharmacy school for the last 4 years now. Ever since I started it in 2019, so I was in the class of 2023, and I say was because I actually just graduated about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago as of recording this, I graduated, and it was such a great time, such a memorable experience, and I'm very happy to be done with pharmacy school at this point. It was a very long journey, a very long path. I wanted to provide a lot more updates throughout pharmacy school to talk about what's going on, like what tests I'm studying for, things just going on throughout my life. I don't remember everything to be able to talk about it now, other than just the general things. But needless to say, pharmacy school is not easy. It is a doctorate program, and those who graduate from it become PharmDs, so full-on doctors, pharmacy doctors specifically. And it is a very difficult experience. There's lots of high-level courses you have to take as part of it, and I managed to do actually really well throughout school. I ended up being very dedicated to pharmacy school to the point where I really couldn't spend time working on YouTube because pharmacy school was my passion and really what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do it well. So while I did YouTube for, I'd say, the first 2 years of pharmacy school, somehow I managed to get videos up. P1 year wasn't too bad, which is the first year. We name it in like Ps, P1, P2, P3, P4. P1 year wasn't too bad. P2 year was extremely difficult. And not only that, but I was trying to keep up with YouTube at the same time as doing that, which was not easy and definitely led to a lot more stress and maybe a level of burnout that I wouldn't have had otherwise. I realized after that second year that there was no way I could keep up doing YouTube beyond that and still like do well in school and not just completely burn myself out. So I needed to change something, and so I did. Oh, I thought that was a slime block, but just like a different texture because I'm using Sphax. Actually, that is a slime block. I just landed on the edge of it, which is a little glitchy. But yeah, P3 year, I decided that I was going to stop doing YouTube for now, and I provided a little update on it at the time, so hopefully you saw that. If not, my apologies. I should have provided more updates. But I stopped around then and haven't really gotten back doing it other than the occasional update. I haven't really done another video since then. So I'm very glad to be back at it and have more free time to be able to do this kind of thing. I will say another big thing that's been keeping me from doing YouTube videos as much as I want to is my computer's power. And my computer, I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm just it's hard to parkour while I'm talking. But I was on an old rig with a GTX 1060. I think that's what it was. Yeah, 1060. Not even a 1060 Ti, I don't think. I think it was just a 1060. And I've had that computer since 2012, 2011. I don't know. a long time ago. Actually, it might have been like 2013. I think the beginning of high school is whenever I got that previous computer. I built it myself. I really love tech. I love getting into that kind of thing, so I built it myself. And it's a good computer for the time, for sure. I think it cost about like $1,000 or so. I try to be thrifty with getting the parts for the most part. And it worked pretty well. It wasn't on a 1060 the whole time, by the way. I got that 1060 about 6 years after I built the computer. I think it was used to be on a, what was it? I honestly can't remember the old graphics card. It was some really old, really jank one. But I upgraded it to a 1060 at some point, but it was starting to fall apart, basically, like show its age. It could barely run any modern games, and definitely couldn't run them well, I will say. And definitely not anything on high graphics. Definitely couldn't record or edit videos without lagging like crazy. So it was basically impossible to do YouTube because of that, and due to time restraints due to pharmacy school. And I figured I'd keep that computer up until I graduated, and then get a graduation gift of a new computer. I will admit, I kind of pushed it a little bit with the new computer. I asked for a lot from it, but I also pushed myself really, really hard in school. So in pharmacy school, and I won't say exactly what school it is, some of you might know, some of you might not. At some point, I'll probably end up revealing a lot more about myself and talking about my exact journey and who I am and that kind of thing. I don't really feel comfortable doing that right now, but in pharmacy school, I really pushed myself to the point where I was heavily involved in leadership and in organizations, in school, academically, like supporting the school as well. I was basically the most well-known person in my school, which I'm not like from the largest pharmacy school, but it's not a small one either. It's got a fairly sizable class in it, and I ended up being class president, which I've talked about before because I got voted in for my second year of pharmacy school. I applied first year, came in second place, told myself I would work even harder the following year, and then became class president P2 year. After COVID hit and turned our classes entirely virtual that year. And that's the only reason I was able to do YouTube videos in my second year is because it went virtual. And I was able to keep up with it a lot better that way because I'm good at virtual stuff, I'm good at tech. P3 year was not, and I was still class president P3 year, I was voted in again, and I was P4 year as well. So I've been class president for 3 years now, just now finished my term. Along with that, I served as president and vice president of IPHO, or Industry Pharmacists Organization. I'll be honest, I'm not sure when I'm supposed to go here. Okay, it was exactly what I was doing, just jumping on that and jumping over here. I just wasn't doing it right. But IPHO, I dedicated a lot of time to as well. I helped to co-found the organization. I have like an interest in industry pharmacy, think Pfizer, Moderna, that kind of Johnson & Johnson. So I had a passion for that. It's not like the number one thing I wanted to do, but I really enjoyed it, and I love the faculty advisor for that organization. But I worked really hard at that, and I helped run our organization's first ever and only ever entry into the VIP case competition, which is a big year-long competition following a drug through its entire development process, a theoretical drug, but a drug nonetheless. Very difficult competition, very rewarding, and I was the leader of a big team of students for that. Along with that, I served as like treasurer of numerous organizations. I was involved in SNAPHA, the Student National Pharmaceutical Association at my school. I was like the secretary / PR person, did a lot of email, social media work, created our website for like a new website for the organization, and went to every single event. I was known as the guy who went to basically everything. I went to every event, tried to get as much involvement as possible throughout school. I was dedicated to learning as much as I could and supporting everyone as much as I could, to the point where if I wasn't showing up to an event, who was going to show up to an event? Like I wanted to be at everything because I didn't want anyone to host an event and no one show up. But a lot of times other students weren't as engaged or active. So I was the guy who was always everywhere, doing all sorts of stuff, which a lot of people seem to appreciate. Oop, that's not good. And I really enjoyed it. I spent a lot of time and met a lot of people, not just in my class, but in classes below and above me. Built a lot of connections throughout school and enjoyed the whole process. Am I already near the end of this map? I feel like I'm near the end of this map. There we go. Is this the end? Oh yeah, it is. Well, I'm going to need to find a new map. Alright, here's another map called Floating Islands Parkour. It's very straightforward, so we'll just jump into it. Okay. Wow. Incredible. Apparently I walk over the void to start, so I think this guy's just trolling me. Alright, spawn point set. Whoop. So, as I was saying, I was heavily involved in different things, and then I even got I even got a national position in one of the organizations I was at because I really wanted to push myself. I was already known as like the top leader at my school, so I wanted to push beyond that to a national level. And so I applied, managed to get one, and really put my all into it throughout this year. And I'm still in that position as well. Won't say exactly what it is because you'd easily be able to find me if I did that. Probably wouldn't be too hard to do that anyway, but still. But I got heavily involved in that, and I'm still working on that position throughout the summer up until our national conference coming up. And then, as well as that, I had numerous other positions. I'm not going to list all of them. Just know that I was very heavily involved, and that took up a lot of time in school. Along with that, I really wanted to do well academically and learn as much as I could, and finally achieve one of my dreams that I've ever had since I was young, which was being a valedictorian at school. I really can't get these 4-block jumps. Valedictorian, because I was not able to achieve that back in high school because there was a couple people who took one more AP class than I did, whereas I opted to do a lot more dual enrollment courses in high school to gain a lot more college credit and skip classes in college, which I think was more worth it than it would have been to take AP courses. However, for those who don't know, dual enrollment courses only give a 4.0 GPA at most, whereas AP classes, if you get an A, for some reason they give a 4.5. I don't know why. Dual enrollment courses are also college level, just like AP classes are, but it's just the way they provide incentive for AP. It's what the College Board does. I really am sucking. So, yeah, I didn't get it there, and then to be fair, I didn't really finish my bachelor's degree while I was in school. I was a biochemistry major. I ended up getting a B+ in Organic Chemistry 1 and an A- in Organic Chemistry 2, largely because I took both of them over the summer. What? There's a block above me? Oh, God. I took them both over the summer, and that was a terrible idea in terms of workload. That was the worst summer of my life. I had classes literally every single day for many hours a day for just organic chemistry. Lab was 5 hours twice a week, and that was painful because there's no air conditioning in that room because it was broken for some reason. And my school's chemistry department is pretty terrible. So I ended up not doing as well in those courses as in many others. But then in pharmacy school, I dedicated my all to studying and learning, and ended up getting all A's throughout pharmacy school. So I had a 4.0 GPA at graduation, which of course is valedictorian level. There was one other student in my class who also got a 4.0, so we shared the valedictorian, which is fine with me. But I worked really hard for that, and I achieved another one of my childhood dreams, which was giving a speech at graduation, so being the class speaker. And technically it's not valedictorian who gives the speech per se. It is someone who the class selects as their speaker, so it's voted at my school. And typically it ends up being the class president, and it was this year as well, with me being president. Last year was not, because the president of the class above mine didn't want to speak, but typically it is. Or if the class wants to vote someone else, they can. But I was very excited to do that, and I gave a speech I was very happy with, to the point where when I went up to pick up my diploma, the dean of my school, not like the dean of the pharmacy school per se, the dean of our entire university, because the pharmacy school is just a part of our university, spoke to me. He stopped me as I was picking up my diploma and whispered in my ear that he's heard many student graduation speeches or commencement speeches throughout his life, not just at his school, but at many schools. But mine is the best one he's ever heard, which was amazing to hear. I was so happy to hear that, because not only had I achieved one of my dreams, but I'd done it really well, apparently. So that was one of the best moments of my life. Honestly, I'm a little bit afraid to say, but I might have peaked in graduate school, which I guess is better than some people who peak in high school, but still, I'm going to keep pushing myself and growing as much as I can. But I don't know, I feel like at this point it's hard to top a lot of what I've done in my mind. There we go. But yeah, that's sort of how things have been going, and P4 year has been a little bit different, because for those who don't know about the way pharmacy school is laid out, Fourth year is rotation year. So that's the year where we go to different sites. Our school does one every single month at a different location, and we learn about pharmacy practice at all these sites. So be it at a hospital or at a Walgreens or CVS, like a community pharmacy. We get some at like clinics, like ambulatory care clinics. And there's also a lot of unique ones you can pick. I had one in informatics, which is actually the field of pharmacy I want to work in, and it's one that not a lot of people know about. But informatics is interesting because it is the mix of technology with pharmacy. And being a techie, nerdy kind of guy myself, I thought that would be perfect for me. Especially since like I thought going into pharmacy, I'd have to give up my passion for tech in that field. Because if I wasn't going into medicine, I'd probably want to go into a tech-based field. But this allowed me to combine my two interests and really pursue my passions, which I'm very happy about. Okay, I wasn't sure which way I was going, but this does seem to be the right way. Okay. But I learned about that in my first year of pharmacy school. I've talked about it before in videos, but I am full throttle towards that area of pharmacy now. Like, I know that's what I want to do. So I'll be really pursuing that area, like informatics pharmacy. So what I did over this last year is I'm trying to figure out my path now post-graduation. So I have a lot more time for sure now that I've graduated from school. However, I do still need to study for the NAPLEX, which is the North American Pharmacy Licensure Exam. That's our big certification exam. So we need to pass that to be a licensed pharmacist. Technically, for the jobs I'm looking into in informatics, they're not direct patient care focused, so they don't require to pass the NAPLEX. However, I'm going to take it anyway because I've studied all this last year, because another part of being on rotations is we're doing NAPLEX prep, so studying for the exam all throughout the year. And so I've done that a lot. I might as well take it at this point. Unfortunately, it is very expensive. It's like $600 or something, or maybe more take, so it's crazy, and they're just basically taking money from all these poor college kids who already have thousands and thousands of dollars of loans. Like, for disclosure, I have definitely more than 100K in loans right now. So, yeah, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, and we have to pay for it, so. Along with that, we have to take the MPJE, which is a law exam, because to be a licensed pharmacist, you also have to know all the pharmacy laws and pass that exam, which I've heard is even harder than the NAPLEX. And I haven't started studying for that because I can really only study for one at a time, and I'm taking the NAPLEX on June 12th. So there's those to study for, and I'll be spending a lot of time studying for those this summer. But that's really the main thing I have left to do, is just studying for that. Other than that, my time is a lot more free. I can play games with friends a lot more, and I plan to upload a lot more games that I play with my friends. I think that'll be a lot of fun, and I'll be glad to really get back to it. I don't expect a lot of people to still be around. If you are, I really appreciate you. And you're why I keep making videos, just because I enjoy talking to you and interacting in the comments and just having a fun time on YouTube. I'm very much an old school YouTuber and wouldn't do well in the modern day YouTube, honestly. I just like playing a variety of things and having fun. Nowadays, people really like have to follow some kind of trend or be unique or focus on one thing. And that's not what I enjoy. I just want to play games and have fun. So very YouTube boomer is what I am. But you know, I'll have fun doing it. And I'm happy to get back to it. This is Future Jonathan speaking, and I wanted to provide a little update on what's been going on in the future because I was very slow to edit this video. I've been super busy over the summer with studying for the NAPLEX exam, taking the NAPLEX, doing job applications and interview prep, as well as serving as best man for my best friend's wedding, which was fantastic, by the way, a really wonderful event, and I'm really happy for him. But a lot has happened, and one of the things that has happened is I've taken the NAPLEX, and I got my results back a little while ago, where I learned that I actually passed it. I'm very happy, obviously, to learn about that. It was a stressful time, and it was a tougher exam than I expected. It took about 4.5 hours, even though they give 6 hours for the full exam. I didn't use all of it. It was 225 questions in a very strict testing environment, and they asked about a lot of smaller or niche topics that I didn't really expect them to focus on as much. I focused my studies more on the big concepts and things like that, so I was a bit nervous and uncertain if I'd passed. But needless to say, I was very happy to hear that I did, and I'm very glad that it's out of the way. Right now, what I'm mainly preparing for is the MPJE, or the law exam I mentioned earlier, of which I have it scheduled and have it in a couple weeks, so I'll be studying that very hard. Who knows, maybe this video will be uploaded after I get the results back from that, but hopefully not. Hopefully I can be a bit faster. So yeah, just wanted to provide you all a little bit of an update. But yeah, I'll be studying for that, and that's a big thing. And then after that, I'll be applying for positions. So I did apply for residencies and fellowships, like a couple of fellowships and one residency in informatics. Informatics is such a niche field of pharmacy that there's not many opportunities for postgraduate training within it, unfortunately. So there's a couple of fellowships that are available. They're very hard to find, and there's not many of them, and the application process isn't very straightforward for them. I didn't end up getting any of the ones I applied for. And then there's a number of residencies. I think there's only like 6 across the entire country in America that are 2-year PGY 1 and 2 programs, because in pharmacy, residencies are typically 2 years long, but usually after the first year, you have to do a separate application and hope that you get a second-year residency. It could be at the same site, could be somewhere else in the country. There's some that offer PGY 1+2, which means you're there at the same site for 2 years straight, guaranteed, you don't need to apply anymore. That's what I really wanted. I didn't want to stress over another application next year. Along with that, residents make half pay of a normal pharmacist, so there's that downside to them as well. So I originally didn't want to do a residency, especially because I didn't really want to do direct patient care that much. And the half pay and the high workload, because residents work really hard, harder than actual licensed pharmacists who have full-on positions, because they're expected to be trained and do a ton of projects and all that sort of stuff while they're doing the normal pharmacy work. So it's very difficult. I only applied for one because I really liked the location, and the people who I talked to there were really nice and welcoming and reassuring, and it seemed like a great location. So I applied for that. I think I came in second on the application. I didn't get the residency. It turned out the person who got the residency is actually from the school that's hosting the program. So I could be wrong, but I kind of think that because they knew all the preceptors already and could address them by name when they came in, they inherently had an advantage. But I did my best at the application, and on the all-day day-long interview sessions where I had 5 sets of multiple 30-minute interviews. It was very arduous, difficult day, but interesting to experience at the very least. Made it through that, did well, and I think I came in second there. But it was a good experience. I'm glad I did it, and I'm also kind of glad I didn't get it, because I feel like the path I'm going on right now is something I enjoy a lot more, which is going for a direct position at a company that I really enjoy, that's not focused on direct patient care, where I can really focus on the technical informatics side, data analytics side of pharmacy. I also have a health data analytics graduate certificate. I did that concurrently with a PharmD, concurrently with an MBA. So I was taking about 35, 36 credit hours or so a semester, doing 3 graduate level programs at the same time. Got a 4.0 in all of them, humble brag. But yeah, I really like the data analytics and that side, project management, team-based side of pharmacy. So that's what I want to do, and I'll be applying for positions starting off in June after I pass the NAPLEX, is my current goal. While the NAPLEX isn't required, I still want to pass it. It'll make my application more competitive for these positions, I feel. So that's what I'm planning on doing. And yeah, I'm sure I'll find a good position. I'm working with a mentor of mine who's an informatics pharmacist who I met at conferences and connected with on LinkedIn to try and get a position over the summer. And she said that I'm definitely going to get one, and so we're going to keep applying until I get one position. This is even later in the future, Jonathan, also known as Late July Jonathan, and as I expected, it's been taking me quite a while to make this video. I've been super busy, caught up in a lot of things recently, but I do have some more updates I wanted to bring up. Well, the first one being that I have now finished my MPJE, and I'm really glad to have that out of the way and finished and not have any more exams to study for right now. It was such a relief to have it done. It was a hard exam, in a different way from the NAPLEX. It was just focused on pharmacy law, so it was very focused on that specific topic, so I really had to know everything about that. And it was quite a difficult exam, as I was told it would be. I don't know my score yet or whether I passed, and I won't know for probably another week or two, but hopefully I did. If not, it's not too big a concern for me. I can retake it. I'm just glad it's out of the way for the time being. But with that being said, I have another major update I want to give, one that I'm really excited to say, which is that I have an actual job now. and it's in the field that I wanted to work in, at a company that I wanted to work at the most. So I'm really excited about it. I'm not going to say the specifics or what company it is, because I want to stay a little bit private at the very least. Maybe later I can talk more about it once I get settled in and get a new house and move into the area, because I do have to move to another state for this position. But basically, I managed to get a position in my field of interest, which is pharmacy informatics, health tech. So I get to combine my clinical skills and pharmacy skills, as well as my technological passions and skill set, and my business expertise as well, since I have an MBA, all at one job at a very prestigious health tech company that will give me a really great start to this industry. So I'm extremely excited. My time will once again be limited, kind of like it was at school. Hopefully I'll be able to do some recordings while I'm there, since that's a big passion of mine. We'll see. I still need to find some time for myself, but I'm just happy that I know where I'm going to go next. I'm no longer lost and figuring things out. And I'm really grateful to have had this opportunity, and to all the people who helped me along this journey. So yeah, once again, I'll probably talk more about it in a future video, but for now, that is the big updates. Whew. I talked about a lot already, and I feel like I've only scratched the surface. But I do want to, while I remember, talk a little bit about this computer I got. Because like I said, I asked for a lot, made a beast of a rig, and now with this, I should be able, I should be able to run games a lot better, record a lot better. I can edit videos without like the editor being super laggy, because it always has been, and it's made it very difficult to do any fun or more complex edits. Not saying I will do any of those complex edits, because I don't have really technical skills, I haven't done it in so long, and I don't really have the amount of free time that I used to have. Even though I've graduated and I have more free time than when I was in school, I'm still studying and doing a lot of other things, so I don't have a ton of free time to learn all that stuff when it's not directly correlated to my salary and my future career. Because I solely do YouTube as a hobby. I don't plan to make money off of it. I know people say, like, why do YouTube if you don't plan to get money off of it? For me, it's just fun, and also it gives me a little bit of an excuse to do things I enjoy. Play games, have breaks, play things with friends, talk about fun stuff, give my opinions on things. And I need that, because whenever I'm not doing something productive nowadays, and this might be a bit of a problem for me that I gained throughout pharmacy school, whenever I'm doing something that's not inherently productive, I get this itch in the back of my mind being like, I could be doing something more useful right now. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I playing this game? I could be like studying for the NAPLEX or doing more work or whatever. And it makes it hard for me to enjoy things. But when I record it for YouTube, at least I can say, well, while I'm playing a game, this will go in a video. So I can say I'm being productive while having fun at the same time. At least that's the way I justify it in my mind. So that's part of why I love doing YouTube videos so much. You could say I could do streams for that as well, but I feel like I do not have the free time to do streams like I do to do YouTube, and I have no idea how to do streams. I don't mean it from the technical side, because I know I could figure out how to use the software. My computer could definitely run it now. I could definitely stream if I wanted to, and maybe I'll give it a try at some point, but I just don't watch streams. I don't. I can talk about this in a separate video, but there's not a single streamer who I watch. Every time I try watching a stream, I just get bored super quickly, because it's like, streams just show everything, and a lot of times they're just like talking about nonsense, reading chat, like reading donations, and it's not just like, I prefer the curated YouTube videos where it's just the interesting part of the gameplay, and they're talking about stuff they care about the whole time without interruptions, and it's like well edited, or even if it's not, just like little transitions and stuff. Like, I like all of that, and I like the feel of YouTube a lot more, and I usually play YouTube at 2x speed as well, just because it saves me time. And like, makes me feel like I'm being more productive as well, because I'm getting more done at half the time. So I always watch YouTube at 2x speed, unless it's like specific things I really need to pay attention to, which I can't do on a live stream. So, and I don't like watching VODs, because why would I watch like a 2-hour-long VOD of a live stream when like the preferred format for me would be compressing that 2-hour VOD into a 30-minute YouTube video that I watch at 2x speed instead. There's really no benefit to it, and at that point, I don't get the benefit of the stream as well, because it's not live anymore. So, yeah, just my thoughts on it, but maybe at some point I'll try it. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, why I enjoy making YouTube videos, and that kind of stuff, giving me a break from my work, while still making me feel productive. So I'd love to do that a lot more, and I can now do that on this new computer. So for those wondering, if I press F3 right now, you can see I've got the FPS is not like thousands or anything right now, because I have a very intensive shader pack. I have the extreme version of the Unbelievable SEUS, like extreme version, Sonic Ether's Unbelievable shaders. And then I also have a high resolution Sphax texture pack. It's not like the highest resolution, but you can see here it's pretty high. If I put it like the very highest and max out my graphics settings, I still struggle. And this is with a 4090. That's right, I have a GeForce RTX 4090, which is expensive. It is expensive, it is overkill, it is beautiful. I love it, and I'm really grateful to all my like friends and family who helped provide gifts for graduation and helped support me and that kind of stuff, which allowed me to get this. But it has a 4090, it has a 7900X processor, it has 64 gigabytes of RAM, it has an M.2 SSD, the fastest one available, I think it's like 6,400 RPM or something, or whatever it is. I'm not the most, like, I say I like tech, I'm not the biggest into memorizing all the little details about the parts I have. I researched them a lot though before I put it together, and I built the computer myself. So I'll say that. Very fast SSD, and it's 4 terabytes as well, so a lot more space for games and videos, decreasing the load time significantly for games because I can now put them on my SSD. Because my previous computer only had a boot SSD, it helps it boot faster. It wasn't an M.2, so it wasn't as fast, and it was very low storage. So anytime I tried to install a program or like, there was no room for basically any games on it at all, and it constantly caused problems because I could not render videos on that computer, partially because my specs weren't that great, partially because whenever I render on Camtasia, which is my video editor, it actually slowly fills up my C drive, my boot drive, with like, I'm assuming temp files or something, and there was not enough space on it to finish rendering videos. Straight up not enough space. It would fill up to the point where there was 0 megabytes of storage left on the C drive while rendering, and then the render would just freeze up and it would not finish. And there was no way that I could like deal with that to get it to finish or anything. And once I stop rendering, the storage space clears up again, which is why I think it's temp files. But that just made it impossible for me to get much done on that computer. Why is that jump not working? I finally managed to make it to the top of this thing after endless frustration, so I really hope we get a checkpoint soon, because this map has one of my biggest pet peeves for parkour maps, which is that it literally does not allow me to set my own like checkpoints or switch to creative mode or that kind of stuff. I try switching to creative mode and it instantly switches me back to adventure, which I think takes away from a lot of the fun, because the whole point is you should be able to do it however is the most fun for you, and it limits it a lot when it does that, so. But, not a big deal. I made it, eventually. But yeah. Oh, please don't fall now. Give me a checkpoint, please. Please? Game? Give me a checkpoint. There we go. Alright. Feeling a lot better now. But yeah, having that larger storage space solves another big problem for me with making videos, because now I can actually render them and have it like function and finish rendering appropriately, unlike before where it literally couldn't be done. So that's another big part of why I stopped doing YouTube. I know I've said before, I wouldn't stop doing YouTube without telling everyone what's going on and all of that, but I mean, I think I explained it decently well with pharmacy school and everything. So even if I didn't say specifically, it can be pretty much assumed that it's pharmacy school getting in the way. But along with that, I just straight up, like, even if I wanted to do another update video to talk about it, I couldn't. My computer could not handle it. So I'm really glad that that's taken care of, and now I can get back to doing what I enjoy and what I love. Which is making these videos. Also, I don't know where I'm going. I guess that way, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. But with that being said, I don't know if there's too much left to talk about right now. I enjoyed, like, all my rotations, and like I said, I'm really working towards the next step in my career at the moment. Oh yeah, in terms of games and things I want to do for YouTube coming up, there's a lot of ideas I have right now, and a lot of things I have recorded and now can get to editing and really posting and making really fun videos out of. For example, recently, me and my close friends have played Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but we did a Nuzlocke out of the game. and it was my first ever Nuzlocke, and not only that, but it was a randomizer Nuzlocke. So all the Pokemon that we found were completely randomized. They were scaled to level appropriately with like where we're at and that kind of thing, but even so, it was pretty much randomized. So that was a really fun experience, and I want to edit that and make that into some videos of their own. I know next to nothing about Pokemon strategy, so sort of the way it worked is I was the guy who knows absolutely nothing about what's going on, but I'm the one at the controls. And so my friends had to basically guide me on how to take on different things and what strategies to use and that kind of thing, which was fun. I don't know if this is the way I'm supposed to go. I'll be honest, I have no idea where I'm going on this map right now. Maybe it's over here? No, it's not over there. I don't know where I'm supposed to go, and the fact that I can't go into creative mode on this map means that even if I wanted to like scout around and see like where the path is that I'm supposed to go, it's literally impossible. Like I'm not allowed to fly or do anything like that. See, even if I go into spectator, it's like nope, immediately back to adventure mode. And I tried turning off command blocks, it didn't matter. Though I don't even know, like I think turning off command block output doesn't actually turn off command blocks, just turns off like the output in the chat or something. I don't know. I don't know enough about Minecraft. It's been too long since I've really played it. Well, from what I can tell, I need to get on top of this tree and go down that way, because there's no other path out of this place. However, there's literally no way to get on top of the tree. Like, I don't see any way whatsoever. There's no, like, hole in the leaves. None of the leaves are low enough to be able to grab the vines on the side. And even if you climb these, like, crap. Even if you climb the, what are they, the bamboo, up as high as you can, it doesn't lead high enough to be able to climb the tree itself. So I feel like there might be an issue with the map, or I'm missing some Minecraft mechanic I don't know about. Like if there was a hole there, maybe I'd get it, but like this is as high as it goes. That bamboo is farther away than anything else. This is as high as it goes, and there's like, unless I'm somehow able to jump around there and grab that one above the pit and high enough to be able to climb up, which I highly doubt is possible, then I don't see any way up right now. But I guess it's fine. I don't need to finish this map. I'll kind of just chill around here for now and just kind of end off the video by saying, yeah, as a whole, I'm much happier now. I had a very good time in pharmacy school, worked very hard. I enjoyed it. I was very engaged, met a lot of good friends, some that I'm really keeping up with. I plan to keep up with basically everyone from our class to an extent. Post-graduation, we're supporting each other. We all worked with each other for 4 years straight in the same classroom, same classes, and we're going to stay connected, work together, and try to all get good careers and a good future. And then, yeah, that's all it is for now, though. And it's crazy to think that I've been doing YouTube since I was 13 years old. And here I am, like 10 years later, and I'm a doctor. I've graduated pharmacy school, valedictorian, class president, class speaker at graduation, and ready to go into a career that I think I'll really enjoy and really finally get my first like true job. I worked hard throughout my 4th year at like positions through rotations, and those were kind of like jobs, unpaid of course, but I got paid through learning, whatever they try to say to not pay us. But finally going into my first real job fairly soon. I'll be applying to a ton of stuff this summer, and that'll keep me busy. But for now, and I'm really excited to say this, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate a like, comment, and or a subscription. It makes me want to keep going, and I truly, truly appreciate it. And I hope to see you all on the next adventure.